There's so many insects out here, we're literally being bitten alive. It is unbearable.
Oh, I don't think I can do this.
I think we might have made a mistake. Yeah, they're selling knives at the market the other day, so should have probably got one of those. This is crazy. So the Cameron Highlands has several different hiking trails, and today we're doing number 10 and number 6. So number 10 is one of the most popular. However, it can be quite tricky at times, especially if it's been raining. And since we've arrived yesterday, it hasn't stopped raining.
Number 6, however, is a lot less done, which means I think it's going to be quite overgrown in places. It's a lot longer and a lot more challenging. So it could be difficult, but there should be a beautiful surprise waiting for us at the end.
Yeah, but first we need to head from our hostel to the trailhead. So we need to make our way through the city and to the start. Head outside of Tanarata and you'll see this yellow sign which says Jungle Walk Trail number 10. So you want to follow this up this road.
So I think we're heading up there. There's meant to be an electricity pylon on top of the hill that we're going to. And there's one up there. It's quite far away and it looks very steep to get up to. It's not too late to turn back.
So the Cameron Highlands is actually home to the highest density Land Rover population in the whole world, which is crazy. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is crazy, they're literally everywhere. They're used to transport all their tea from one plantation to like down in the factories and like to the town, and because the British came here they've got loads of Land Rovers. But I think we're not too far from the actual trailhead now, so let's go.
So we made it to the trailhead and it gets pretty intense pretty quickly. To be fair, it's better than it looked like in some of the photos we saw on the blogs we read last night, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough hike. I can see why it wouldn't be fun in the rain. Imagine that would just be like a waterfall.
So we're literally about 100 or 200 meters into the hike and we're already in like this dense forest covered in moss and stuff. It's really cool, you can just hear the sounds of nature. It's a lot cooler in here as well, which is a plus. But yeah, apparently there's a more famous cloud forest which is covered in moss as well, but if you don't want to pay the entry fee for that one, just come to this one because apparently it's equally as beautiful. I think the further up you go, the more beautiful it gets, but just following the signs. And number 10.
How on earth do we get down here? I thought there was going to be like a staircase, but we've just got to like a drop. This is what I thought it would be like. It's a bit slippery. Oh no. Let me go back. You can see there used to be a rope here. Splash in my face. Lovely. Now the next challenge. Oh, this is gross. Not actually too bad though. This ladder looks a bit sketchy. Oh, love how much that moves. As soon as I put my weight on it, it just goes. And I'm not even that heavy. We're facing fears today. Which way? That way?
Yeah.
Your turn.
So Trail 10 is definitely no joke. It's not for any beginners or people who don't know what they're doing. We're only about a mile or so in, if that, and it's already being pretty steep, quite sketchy at times. It says it takes about 3 hours to do 5k, which is crazy because that shows how steep and tricky it is at parts. But the scenery is beautiful. much needed it being in the shade the whole time, but it's a very steep ascent.
So there's no facilities on the route, so if you are doing it, make sure you bring plenty of water, plenty of food, plenty of insect repellent and plenty of sun cream. Make sure you've got a sun hat, you know, all the basics. Make sure you're wearing good footwear, definitely needed for this hike. If you're not too confident, then you can do it with a guide. There's loads of guides that will go up here with you, and it is quite a common tour to take. It's very quiet today. We are the only people that we've seen on the trail so far, but there are guides available if you want one. So the temperature in the Cameron Highlands is normally between 18 and 25 degrees, so it's a lot cooler than most of the rest of Malaysia, which is really nice, really refreshing, until we get up here, when it is so humid. I am literally dripping in sweat. It's not even hot, but it's very sticky, sweaty.
There's so many insects out here, we're literally being bitten alive. It is unbearable. So I don't think we've got much further to go, as it's starting to clear up a bit. There's clear paths and there's tiny breaks in the tree, so hopefully the view at the top is worth it for all of this.
Let me just clarify, not that far to go to the top. We've still got a long way to go to finish this hike.
Yeah, this is the finish of Trail 10, which is the short part of the hike. So
now I want you to get all the insects. Wow. What a view. So beautiful. So glad we did this hike. After you. So this is the split between Trail 10 and Trail 2. So first we are going to go all the way up to the top of the peak, which isn't far now, but we thought we're here, so we may as well for the view, which is that way. Doesn't look too bad, just uphill again. That way is Trail 6. Yeah.
So from up here you can see the whole of the town we're staying in, and you can even see the hotel we're staying in, which is really cool. And very far in the distance that way, you can actually see the end point of Trail 6, which is very nice, but also it looks really far away, so should be a long fun hike down.
So we've made it to the top of Mount Jasper at 1,704 metres. It's quite an achievement, but the views here are not that great. We're quite overgrown in most directions. There's a little bit of a view here and a tiny bit of a view there, but not all that much. When you come up, you'll get to like the electricity pylon. It's very hard to miss. And the view from there is so much better than up here. So if you're not really up for the challenge, you just want to go back to Trail 6 and carry on, then that's absolutely fine. It's a better view down there anyway.
So now we've enjoyed the limited view for a little bit, we're going to head back down and join Trail 6, which looks a lot more overgrown, and apparently it's meant to be equally as hard, if not more challenging, so might be interesting. So we've come back to the split in the path where you can go down back to Trail 10, or you can continue along to Trail 6. So I think we're continuing along to Trail 6, but there's so many beautiful like flowers and wildlife here, like fly trap plants, which look really cool. There's so many different like insects and stuff. Sadly, they're also bitey insects, so make sure you pack plenty of insect repellent. But this path looks a lot more dense and less well trodden, so let's see how it goes. We're not too far into it, and you can already tell this path is a lot less well trodden because the amount of just overgrown ferns and brambles and stuff. It's not that nice because I don't know what's in them, but so far the trail itself hasn't been too hard. It's just a gradual downhill, but I don't know how long that continues for. Hopefully the end reward should be worth it, but we're just gonna have to wait and see.
So there's 12 different trails in the Cameron Highlands, and most of them haven't been well kept. They've kind of favoured paid tourist sites like the strawberry farms and things like that. They're trying to direct tourists there rather than to the trails. So they haven't really maintained the trails very well, which is why this one's very overgrown. There used to be military training areas, so all the trails were used by the military, and so there's only a few nowadays that are kept enough for you to do by yourself without a guide. Trail 10 is definitely one of them. Trail 6 is a bit more iffy, and then I think most of the others you're going to need a guide for if you want to do those.
So Trail 6 is actually quite straightforward. You just follow the electricity pylons down and there's not too much deviation in the path, it's just follow the path.
Oh, I don't think I can do this.
You got this.
I hate like when branches and stuff brush against my legs, and even in the UK, but here there's things that'll actually kill me. Whew. I don't think I can do it.
You got this. Believe in you. I think we might have made a mistake. This is getting very steep and very slippy now. So, one very important tip. Don't wear white shorts. They're currently my white shorts. We're both wearing white shorts.
I know, okay.
Yeah. Recommend wearing trousers or like long sleeves of some kind, because it makes you feel a lot less like you're going to be bitten all the time.
Definitely don't attempt this in flip-flops, as shown below. I kind of just want to walk through the water.
So we've just made it to the river, and I think at this point we just follow a path that kind of runs next to the river until we reach the final destination, which hopefully should make this whole thing worth it, but we'll have to wait and see about that. Turns out the path gets a lot more overgrown, like there's literally nothing here. This is just making your way through a jungle and hoping you're going the right way at this point. Yeah, they're selling knives at the market the other day, so should have probably got one of those. This is crazy.
Pavement! There's actual pavement! There's no like overgrown bushes, there's pavement! I think this might mean we're heading down towards the end of the trail, so I am grateful.
We're only about halfway through though.
But that's fine, because we've only done like maybe 1 kilometre in the last hour. So if we're halfway through, I feel like we could finish this in 10 minutes. Oh, this is so nice.
So we've only been hiking along this paved bit for about 100 metres now, and it's already the most beautiful and scenic part of the whole hike. So it's definitely not to be taken unseriously to do it, but the views are absolutely stunning. There's like waterfalls and flowers. It's really beautiful here, but definitely you have to earn it. One thing I have noticed that I'm trying to keep quiet is there has been a few drops of rain, so let's hope it doesn't continue that way. Otherwise, it might not be an enjoyable finish. So you won't believe it, guys. We've actually made it to a road. That was very sketchy at times, definitely overgrown.
Even this path, this concrete path, was actually really steep and slippery,
Yeah.
so...
We're not certain which way we need to go, but I think it's left. We've got some food. Been camming it the whole time, but haven't really had time to stop and actually enjoy anything. So
No.
Now on the road, taking the moment while it lasts. Hi, 2 adults. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So we've made it to the end of that horrible part of the trail. Welcome to Cameron Valley Tea Plantation. This place is absolutely stunning. I saw photos of it before we came here and this just exceeds all of my expectations. It just goes on for miles in all directions. You can see the rainforest like encroaching on the tea plantation, but it's all just these like bushes of tea for miles. It's incredible. The trail does continue through the tea plantation, so we'll be heading down into it more in a second. But all jokes aside, this place is absolutely stunning. If you did want to just come here and not do trail number 6, which we'll talk a bit more about later, you can just get a taxi. It's not that expensive and it's only about 20 minutes outside of Tanarata, so easily doable. You don't even need to hike here. There's like these golf buggies that will take you around if you want to go on them. There's ATVs. Who needs to hike? What silly people would do that?
So luckily we managed to avoid the rain the whole day, just until we were about to finish. At least we managed to avoid it most of the day.
Just come to Cameron Valley Tea Rooms number 1. So there's 2 different ones. Number 2 is a lot more popular, a lot busier. It's on the road that side, that's where we came in. And then trail 6 will lead you up to number 1, and it's a lot quieter and it's sheltered from the rain, so definitely a bonus today. But we've just got 2 teas, and that's not normally a tea drinker, so for him to order a tea is something special. He's got the blackcurrant, I've got peppermint because I just love peppermint tea. They seem to do more like fruit and herbal teas here than like black tea, but that suits us perfectly. And we've also treated ourselves to some cheesecake, and that rain is crazy. Okay, so let's give this tea a try. Oh, that's very minty. I love peppermint tea, so that is good. Highly recommend that. It costs 7 ringgit, so it's a bit more expensive than tea in like the town, but it was literally grown there. I can't fault that. It's still only like £1.10, £1.20, something like that. It's not exactly expensive. Very good. It's almost like, have you ever had like a bit of gum or like a mint in your mouth and then you've had a drink of water at the same time and you get that like minty flavour? That's kind of like what this is like, which I know isn't necessarily everyone's cup of tea. Get the bun. But it certainly is mine. So if you're coming to the Cameron Highlands and you want to do something like we did today, highly recommend it. We've had an amazing day. However, Trail 10 was fantastic. We had so much fun on Trail 10. It was a little bit challenging in places, so if you're not confident, make sure you go with a guide, but it was a lot of fun. Trail 10 loops back round to Tanarata, and we would recommend doing the full Trail 10 and not cutting down on Trail 6 to come to Cameron Valley Tea Plantation. The reason is Trail 6 was very difficult, very overgrown. There was barely a path there most of the time, and honestly, was not enjoyable. I was so grateful to have Nat's support because he literally was carrying me down some of the steps because they were just like this big and I just couldn't do it. So very grateful to have him there. And again, if you're hiking alone, then you won't have that support. You're likely to slip, you might hurt yourself. So if we did it again, I don't think we would do Trail 6. We would just do Trail 10. Then when you get back to Tanarata, which should be around midday, it's not a long trail, then you can get a taxi to Cameron Valley Tea Plantation and come for a walk around here yourself, come to the cafe, see all the sites, go to all the Instagram places. That's what we would recommend doing if you were to do it. So Trail 10, then get a taxi here and back. However, we have had an awesome day. This is one for the books. I think we're not going to forget today in a long time. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up so that that hike was worth it for us. Leave a comment if you enjoyed it and make sure you subscribe to see the next one.